Good morning, boys. Hello. It's morning for me. I just woke up, had some breakfast. Doing things a little bit different this time. Last time I think it was like 3 or 4 a.m. and I was doing things pretty much very off the cuff, on the spot. Which was okay, but I think can be improved upon. I still like, I had some comments talking about this in the Discord as well. I think it's good to do these types of videos when it's dark outside. For some reason it just feels better. I haven't quite figured out that dynamic yet, but I will. But today we're talking about something else. What are we talking about today? Title of this video, about art. Why are we going to be talking about art? Because I think it's necessary. Why do I think it's necessary? Well, let me show you a comment I got from one of the people who watched my last video, and I hope he doesn't mind me doing this. That I'm just gonna pull him out of the Discord and expose him here. The Discord is a public place, though, right? So it shouldn't be. All right, so my boy Nightlander here, right? My boy Nightlander, he watches my video, and we're talking about it in the Discord, and I guess maybe something about this part where I was reading about King Francis and the ambassador and the dukes and all that. And so he goes, all right, he said he wanted to, he had something on his mind. Wait, I should show this too. This is an important part. Oh, no, that is the first part. Okay, so he goes, no, that isn't. Right, I forgot the first part of the message. My bad, sorry. He says this. And also, should I move my camera? Maybe this is better. Okay, so he goes, he's kind enough to interject our discussion, right? Because I talked about this last time, how being interrupted can be an advantage. So he's kind enough to interrupt us, and he goes, I'm on my 3rd beer, and I would like to say something, but my brain can't compress the information, which is, you know, the reference to what I was drawing for you last time with, you know, this circle that has stuff in it, and you want to say stuff, but the mouth is too small, and right, so he's referencing that. And I ask him what's up, and whether he's tried to chop it into 3 parts and only post the first part first, because that's what I was doing, and that's how I was dealing with it. And he goes on to say that there was maybe a time where our ancestors explored open seas and the unknown. He talks about the Dutch fleet. I guess he knows that I'm from the Netherlands, and that maybe I've felt this way before as well. And he goes, so many stories nobody ever heard about because they got lost. And I identify with that. I actually think I felt exactly the same before. Whenever I started learning about history, there comes this point where you feel overwhelmed by the amount of material there is, right? And you can't, like, look at how long I spend on just this one anecdote where the people who are talked about, I mean, we don't know these people, right? But these are kings, these are dukes, these are ambassadors, these are important people. And still, like, these kind of things go lost all the time. So let alone the stories of, you know, common soldiers or sailors or just common working people, right? And he's feeling upset because of that. And I think that's cute, and I appreciate that, and I identify with that. So I try to help him, right? And I tell him, I do my best to make sure the stories don't go lost. You know, I do my part. I try to engage with those stories the best way I can. But you can't do all of them, right? We can't consider every human being that ever lived. And so him, see, because now I'm helping somebody else instead of helping myself, right? And it becomes easier somehow to think of solutions. And I realized that I've had the solution to that problem for quite a long while. And that solution is art. I go, That's not in here yet. It's an important part here, this part. Right, I say we can't consider everyone and everything. That's why art is around. Art is the great compressor, right? So this problem, art can fix it, because one piece of art can cover, like a blanket, can cover a whole era of stories and individuals, right? And so I'm talking about, in this particular example, when he's talking about the fleet and, you know, people exploring the open seas, I think the best art that represents that is the sea shanty. And I go on to talk about that and how and why that works. But I think I could explain it, but I think the best way to show it is to show it and show how that works. And I hope people will humor me here for a bit, because I know this is going to be weird. But I wanna sing you guys a sea shanty, and if you look up sea shanties on YouTube, it's always these people that are extremely good at singing, right? And I always feel like that misrepresents the essence of what the song is, right? Because if you were in the Age of Sail and you were in the 1680 and you were on a ship and you were, you know, working as a sailor, then maybe, you know, there's say 40 to 100 people on a ship. Just as an example, I don't, it depends on the type of ship. You know, there would be 1 or 2 people who would actually know how to sing, and the rest would just be plebeian amateurs like me, right? And I feel like that's misrepresented by people who are really good at singing on YouTube and then get popular singing sea shanties. So I thought about it before, of just, you know, I want to record myself singing a sea shanty and then put it on YouTube, and it'll be better than the people who sing it well. But then I realized the problem, which is if you can't sing, then that makes you not post videos on YouTube, right? But we read about Montaigne, and in my last video, I say, like, this guy assesses his own limitations, knows that he is flawed, and then still goes and does it anyway. He still tries and does it anyway, right? And I remember distinctly saying, I repeated it twice. I said, that's what I want. That's what I want. So now I have to put my money where my mouth is, and I have to sing a sea shanty for you, I think. And I hope the microphone is gonna work out for that. I think I turn the gain up a little bit because I'm gonna be further away. Okay, and I started doing this whenever I was driving to work. And, you know, you're grinding out this office job and you have a contract. And I was comparing that to the sailors of our ancestors and the people who came before us, right? Because, you know, they sign a contract and then they're away for 1.5 years and they can't go back and they have to do it. And every day it's this grind, right? And that's why I started doing it. But then what I found when I started doing it is that it has a lot of other purposes. And I'm stalling now, right? I mean, I just don't want to. Okay, so I'm gonna turn my screens off. I'm gonna pretend you guys are not there. I'm gonna pretend I'm in my car, and I'm gonna sing the sea shanty. Okay, so I should put the lyrics on screen for you guys, so you can. Okay, can I get this in one screen? Right, where's my camera at? Okay, that should work. All right, so turn my screens off, and is this the right lyrics? Yeah, I think so. Okay. Like, please humor me. We are there's a reason I'm doing this, and we are going. This is necessary for the rest of the video. So, okay. The light of the webcam is still on, so I still know you guys are there. So Oh, I bid farewell to the port and the land, as I paddle away from brave England's white sands, to search for my long ago forgotten friends, to search for the place I hear all sailors end. As the souls of the dead fill the space of my mind, I'll search without sleeping till peace I can find. I fear not the weather, I fear not the sea. I remember the fallen, do they think of me, when their bones in the ocean forever will be. Plot a course through the night to a place I once knew, to a place where my hope died along with my crew. So I swallow my grief and face life's final test, to find promise of peace and the solace of rest. As the souls of the dead fill the space of my ears, their laughter like children, their beckoning cheers, my heart longs to join them, sing songs of the sea. I remember the fallen, do they think of me, when their bones in the ocean forever will be. When at last before my ghostly shipmates I stand, I shed a small tear for my home upon land. And though their eyes speak of deaths filled with struggle and strife, their smiles below say I don't owe them my life. As the souls of the dead fill the space of my eyes, and my boat listed over and tries to capsize, I'm this far from drowning, this far from the sea. I remember the living, will they think of me, when my bones in the ocean forever will be. Now that I'm staring down in this darkest abyss, I'm not sure what I want, but I don't think it's this. And as my comrades call to stand fast and fortune, I make sail for the dawn till the darkness has gone. As the souls of the dead live forever in my mind, and I live out the years that they left me behind, I'll stay on the shore but still gaze at the sea. I remember the fallen and they think of me, when their bones, for our bones in the ocean together will be. I remember the fallen and they think of me, for our souls in the ocean together will be. Okay. And I obviously let me turn the mic back down a bit. So I hope that wasn't too weird. Obviously a couple things are happening there, right? And I explained this to Nightlander. Not only do you feel like you are respecting the efforts of the sailors back then, many shanties are also designed as a way for sailors of that period to offload and to decompress, and many are about trauma digestion as well. And I think it doesn't take a psychologist to realize and to recognize the themes of that song, which are about trauma and about survivor's guilt and about depression and being suicidal, right? And it's interesting to me because, like, I hope you guys understand that wasn't an act that I just did, right? That's something that really happens to me, and you know, everybody is different, and everybody engages with different types of art styles. But I think that singing is a very primal, basic, fundamental one, and we're going to talk about why. And about how that mechanic works, but hang on, what should I say first? It'll all come out anyway. So what happens there, right? Why does that make me emotional? And this is okay. I do have to tell this first. Okay, so it's narration, right? That's what it does. It narrates the problem, and narrating it helps digest the issue. And so now I'm admitting what these videos are going to be. In the essence of these videos is, I have problems and I'm going to narrate through them. And I hope that's going to help me. And so you guys are helping me, and so I'm grateful. And now, how does that work, right? Because I started doing this in my car, and I start crying in my car, right? I'm like, what is going on here? What is happening? And I start thinking about this, and it's like this primal sensation of vocalizing, right? If you think about vocalizing, what are you doing? You're pushing air through your vocal cords, and it makes them vibrate, and then it goes out of your body, right? It's literally what expression is. This is self-expression. And this is why I said in the beginning of the video, I think talking about this is necessary. Because I think a lot of people feel exactly like this. And I feel like many people get stuck with that, as I was for a long time. And I don't know if you guys think I'm like talking out of my ass here, I'm like full of shit, and like, but it's real though, right? Because this tendency of humans to vocalize, like, okay, if you're gonna laugh at me for singing that song, walk into your kitchen right now, stub your toe on the kitchen table, see what you do. Bang! Oh, fuck! What, you narrate your problem, right? You exclaim, oh! You draw attention to the issue, and then fuck is like, you know, something bad is happening to me. Like, oh no, this is awful, right? And through that simple, oh fuck, you digest the suffering of stubbing your toe, right? Like you whack yourself with a hammer when you're doing odd jobs, and you bang, ah shit, and then you feel better, right? If you hold that in, you become more focused on, you know, how bad your thumb is hurting. And this works both ways. It's not only negative emotions, right? It's passion in general. Passion can be both positive and negative. Like you can be angry and you're stupid for hitting yourself or for stubbing your toe and being inattentive. But also, tonight, you know, when you're at home with your girlfriend, go and have sex with her. You know, everybody who watches Repelmer has a girlfriend. This is common knowledge. If you don't have a girlfriend, but you are watching this video, the only reason you don't have a girlfriend is because you're not leaving comments under my video, just so you know that. Tonight, have sex with your girlfriend and see if you can do that without vocalizing, right? This is how we... I dare to risk the hypothesis that this is how we digest moments of passion. And whether that's pleasure or suffering, I think it both works the same way. And so, I'm thinking about this because I still don't fully understand this mechanism. And I have prepared a couple examples that might clarify on this quite a bit. So let's go and look at the first example. Wait, did I not have this open when I was singing? I had, right? And I just opened this again later to show? That would be bad if I didn't show this. Maybe it still worked out anyway. I think I had them open. Okay, so first example. Where should it be now? Maybe up here. So we're gonna see what Bobby McFerrin has to say about it, right? So let's take a look at Bobby McFerrin and what he has to say. This is at the World Science Festival. This is 13 years old, but it's quite popular. It's quite a good video, and we're gonna see why.
100% groene energie.
And it throws us an ad, but we don't mind being interrupted, because now we can have some time to look through the comments. Best part is that the audience doesn't even realize they're in a pentatonic scale. When Bobby went down below the tonic, the audience still knew which note to sing instinctively, and the fact and the scale is imprinted in our minds is honestly so cool. You need to see the video to be able to understand that. Favorite video in the whole internet. It's just amazing to see. I hope you guys will appreciate this as well. Maybe some of you guys have seen this already. Okay, but here we go. Hello? All right.
Talking about expectations. Watch. Ba, ba. Okay.
And now he goes to show off. And now pay attention to what he says.
Now what's interesting to me about that is, regardless of where I am, anywhere, every audience gets that. But it doesn't matter, you know, that's just, you know, the pentatonic scale for some reason.
If you're looking for a job in neuroscience, I think...
And he makes that joke about neuroscience as well, but I think we're going to get back to that. Okay, so what happens there, right? First of all, I think that's beautiful, because he doesn't even explain it, right? And he doesn't have to explain it. It just functions. It just works. And he goes to say, like somewhere in the middle, right? I try to just watch the video, but I'd seen it before and I knew the melody, and I couldn't help myself from joining, because it feels good to do that. And I hope some of you people felt the same way when you were watching this. Like this is, why does that feel good, right? Because now it explains that people have this somewhere in their DNA, just a blueprint to be able to do this and to understand this. And if you watch the video, he doesn't explain this, right? Even if you watch the actual thing out of which the segment is taken, no explanation, right? And people just get it. And he says, so it is a universal thing, right? I'm trying to defend myself here from making an ass of myself for singing that song, but I like everybody wants to vocalize, and human nature has equipped us with a blueprint that allows you to understand how that works, and I think that's for a reason. Is there anything else I want to say about this? Right, this is in some part of Notes and Neurons in Search of the Common Chorus. It's this guy joking about neuroscience. This whole thing is part of a research thing on neuroscience, and I think in the next example will take us there, because I really want to drive this home. I think Nightlander might have thought, you know, maybe I was joking about. I am dead serious about this, right? I mean this when I talk about this. So I'm going to show more examples, and yeah, okay, let's do one more like this. Okay, so this was in 2009, and now there's this other guy. What was his name again? It's this guy. He has perfect hearing. Perfect hearing guy. Like you play a note and he can tell which it is, and not only can he tell which it is, if you only tell him the name of a note, like you tell him A whatever, then he can sing that note, right? And so this guy, his name is George Collier, and he, in the same way that Montaigne dissected his mind, this guy dissects music and musical theory. And shit, I shouldn't have closed this one.
Met het nieuwe Brown multi-click systeem kun je dit.
Okay, so he goes to where was it? George Collier, I think it was Milan or something. He does this live show. It wasn't Milan. What was it then? Was it Rome? Yes, this one. Okay. So we just watched this, and at one point he did that thing where he tried to make him sing 2 notes at once. Where was that? Yeah, here. This. And it doesn't work out, right? I don't understand musical theory enough. Is this like, is he trying to make them do the chromatic thing that George is trying to do here? Because apparently he found a way to make this work. Now he is cheating a little bit, right? This is 2009. This is recently. I think this was this year actually, and he does get them to do that split thing. I think is what he's doing, and he's excited about it, and so he makes this video. And I say he cheats a little bit because obviously this guy's way before and he's ahead of his time, so he's kind of copycatting him. And also the people who like George Collier are into music, and so this ends up sounding a whole lot better because most of his audience actually knows what they're doing, and this guy was doing it, you know, with an audience that wasn't aware of the theory behind it and how it all works, and it still ended up working. So I think I like this video more, but maybe something happens here when we watch this that also is interesting. So let's watch it. And so you kind of have to admit that that is better than how this sounded, right? And again, why is that? Why do I like this? I want to understand why I like this. And so I think about it, right? And I think about my French class back in 2012, a decade ago. I had this this French teacher. And this French teacher, I don't know, as you get older, you know, back when we were in school, right? And we had to do what the teacher said. And it feels kind of unfair, right? Like, this guy gets to tell us what to do, man. Hey, man, what a tyrant. I don't want to be doing what he tells me to do. I want to rebel against this authority. And then later, you realize that that man, that French teacher, was trying to teach us, right? And he was passionate about it because he wasn't your average teacher. He developed his own method of teaching, which became, I'm pretty sure this became nationally recognized in the Netherlands. He had this, he had made his own booklets and stuff, and he had really studied on how to teach people something, right? And back in 2012, when we were sitting in this class, and he's talking about this method he makes, and that he's going to try on us, because we were like the trial class. You know, the first time he had been given the green light to actually like use his method to teach children. And so he had this booklet. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was the French flag, which is blue, white, red was the booklet, and it had the acronym PAD on it. Which was for prêt au départ, which means ready to start in French, right? And that was the name of his course that he had developed. And I remember back then thinking, man, that's kind of cringe, dude. Look at this guy, just why is he trying so hard? It's weird. Why is he so, you know? And we kind of made fun of him for it. And then years later, you go back to that and you realize, oh my god, that guy was actually a fucking god, dude. Meneer Paul Mokko, and the dude was a god, because you realize that he went above and beyond, right? And he was passionate about the profession he had. And we get back to this later. The point was the way he made us practice our pronunciation on French words, and we were taught other languages as well, right? Like English and German, and those teachers would they would make us read, for instance, right? And then, you know, the person in the back of the class starts reading, and then the person next reads the next paragraph, and so on and so forth, and then everybody reads a piece. And that made a lot of people nervous, I feel like. And the way this French teacher did it was he weaponized this mechanism, and he made us do it all at the same time. And so everybody in the class would be, you know, reading through the same paragraph, and he would be standing at the front of the class, like, you know, enunciating all the words and giving the intonations that we should use. And he's like one of those guys who orchestrates, right? And he was like that. And I remember that felt the same way as this feels. And I remember noticing that then and being like, what the hell is going on here? Why is this good? And I didn't want to admit that it was good, because this guy who was so cringe was doing it to us. And like, if you didn't do it, he got mad, right? You're like, you have to do this. You have to do this. If you don't do it, leave my class, right? He didn't tolerate us giving him shit. And I appreciate that, because there were also teachers who did tolerate us giving them shit, and then we wouldn't learn anything, right? But at the time, you don't realize that. So anyway, that's what he's doing. And one time before a vacation, you know, when it's the last lessons and there's not going to be exams or whatever anymore, and he shows us a movie. And what movie does he show us? He shows us, I appreciate this guy so much, but only now, right? He shows us this movie, and I recommend you watch this movie. Also, I forgot to do that here. If you're like Nightlander and you like the Age of Sail and sailor stuff, naval history, watch where did I say it? watch. Yeah, here. So I go to him, try and find some shanties that you like and actually learn them by heart. And this is why I was singing. I'm not joking. Actually do this. And it doesn't have to be shanties. We'll talk about other examples later. But try and sing and see what it does to you. Also, if you're into sailing, watch the movie Master and Commander. It's a phenomenal movie. His historical accuracy is so... It's with Russell Crowe, and Paul Bettany is so good in that movie. Fucking God, dude. Please watch this movie. The only reason people don't know this movie is because it came out in the same year as The Lord of the Rings. And if it wouldn't have come out together with The Lord of the Rings, this would have been showered in awards. Absolutely showered. Okay, but now the other movie recommendation. Les Choristes. And again, this movie is a masterpiece, okay? The meaning of the music for children that got erased and they're helpless and they need a guidance. So positivity. The movie is about this teacher, and here he is. He has the same hairstyle as my French teacher, and I realized this later. This French teacher looks up to this guy. This was his example, and at the time, I remember liking this movie, sitting in the classroom, being, "Hey, this is interesting," and again thinking, "I don't want to like this because it's cringe," but it wasn't cringe; it was real. Okay, so this movie is about this guy who goes to a French boarding school or a boys-only school, and all the boys who are there are like orphans, or they were kicked out of other schools because they're aggressive and whatnot. And the movie is about this guy who goes to teach there, and he starts making them sing, and it helps them in the same way that the sea shanty helped me. Fuck, I forgot to explain, right? Why I got so emotional. Right, I do have to explain that. So the reason I got emotional while singing is because I identify with the themes in the song. Spoiler alert, that's also what these videos are going to go towards. I'm narrating a problem I have, and the problem starts in 2016. My dad dies. All right, spoiler alert. This is where we're going. But I'm going to park that now, and I'm going to finish talking about what I'm talking about, because this video is about art, and it's not about my dad dying yet. So we get back to that. But identifying with the content. So when you try to find something that you want to try singing, find something that you actually like, right? Find something that you identify with, and then start actually doing it. Sorry, I'm scattering again. This is not good. I should keep it tight. Stop confusing people. Don't explain. Don't complain. Rarely apologize. This is a comment that somebody left on my previous video. Anyway, focus. So this guy, he goes to teach these boys at this boarding school, and it helps them. So let's watch a bit of this trailer.
Qu'est-ce qu'elle t'a fait? Explique-moi.
J'ai rien à vous dire.
Allez.
Ah, Morange.
J'apprivoise mon nouvel élève.
Right, and there's my French teacher. This is what he was doing in front of the class when we were reading the story he made about the, right, because he developed this method himself, and he wrote this story, and the character from the stories, the main character was always this guy, Roger Courneva. That's who the stories were about that we had to read. And like 10 years later now, a decade later, I still remember those stories. It was about this guy who's sitting in a train, and he falls asleep, and he dreams about a soccer match that he's playing in a football match, a football match, and he scores a goal, and there's somebody. Then the umpire blows a whistle, and then that wakes him up, and it's the conductor who wants to check his ticket, right? And I remember the story, and I remember the first line because it always started the same, right? And we had to read it all together, and it would go: Roger Cornevin, il a un nouveau chemise, la soleil brille, right? And when I say that, I swear, if people from my class watch this video, like sleeper agents, they're gonna hear that, and they're gonna recognize the rest of the story again. What was I gonna say? And he shapes these boys, right? He shapes them, he forms them.
Bon, prenez vos cahiers de calcul.
Comment, mais c'est vous qui faites chanter les enfants?
Oui, monsieur. C'est un reproche?
Oh, pas du tout. Au contraire, j'adore la musique.
J'adore la musique. Okay, so, and again, right? It's cringe, right? Boys singing, why is it boys singing? That's kind of gay. Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to the... I'll fix this for you, okay? You are allowed to enjoy this, and even if you don't enjoy this, maybe you should, and we'll get back to that. But now, okay, why I showed these examples? It might have happened in this something, I don't know. It's right at the best part. The reason I was showing it, where they all together. This part. The first time we watched this, the video lagged and it ruined it, and I'm upset about it. But it is the way it is. Okay, so the reason I show these examples is I hope it might have happened during that George Collier one as well. This one. Did any of you get goosebumps when we were watching these? If you did, raise your hand, because we're in a classroom now again, right? Because it happened to me the first time I watched this, but also, I don't remember if it was here, but also here. And I remember it in the classroom at the time. I was like, holy shit, this is actually beautiful. And I get goosebumps. And now if you look at what are goosebumps, again, I should drag that off screen because I'm gonna goosebumps. Okay, so goosebumps, right? Goosebumps, goose pimples, these ones. Bumps on a person's skin at the base of body hairs, which may involuntarily develop when a person is tickled, cold, or experiencing strong emotions such as fear, euphoria, or sexual arousal. Right, and this is what happens. Like, why does that happen? Why does that happen when you hear music like that? And I think I found the answer to that, and I think I can explain that. Formation of goosebumps in humans under stress is considered to be a vestigial reflex. Vestigial meaning... let's not get too deep into the biology. Its function in other apes is to raise the body's hair and would have made human ancestors appear larger to scare off predators, or to increase the amount of air trapped in fur to make it more insulating. So, okay, on one hand, it might have to do with insulation and keeping you warm, but I don't think that's what's happening when you listen to music, right? Because you're not cold when you listen to music. Also, there are songs that can, you know, facilitate a mood in which, and so on and so forth. But I don't think I've ever heard a piece of music where the music itself made me horny, right? I don't think that's what's going on either. And this fear one is interesting. It's not fear though, because if it would be fear, then we wouldn't like it, right? And I think most people like when this happens, when they hear good music. And why do we like that? Why is that? I think I can answer it. Here you see goosebumps in a kitten, right? The hairs go up and he appears larger because he feels threatened. And here it is due to a fear of heights, right? And so this reaction, this vestigial reaction, it completely short circuits you. It doesn't care if you're a human or a monkey or a cute kitty cat. It just zaps you and it fucking happens. And I think we'll talk about the fear reaction in a bit, but I think this is why we like it, right? Because for the 3 seconds that you may have had goosebumps, that's all that matters in that moment, right? You forget about your shitty job or the problems you have or that you're behind on your chores, and for 3 seconds, all that matters is that moment and the beauty of resonance. Resonating, right? It's in the language. Somebody said about my last video that it seemed like me and Montaigne would have been great friends, and I was thinking about that, and that is what it is, right? I recognize stuff that he wrote, and it resonated with me, like we were on the same. We were in tune with each other, right? It's in the language. These concepts and how they work, language binds them together, and you see the same patterns, right? Because you're in tune with him. I and Montaigne were in tune when I was reading him. And what he wrote resonated with me, and it's the vibrations, right? We were vibing together. Okay, I think that and okay, lost my train of thought. Also, I don't think I'm gonna make it in an hour this time, boys. I only have 20 minutes left, and I'm not even a third of the way through the subjects that I wanted to talk about, so I apologize in advance. Right, okay. So I think it's a fear reaction. It's not purely a fear reaction, it has to do with fear though. And I think the last example is going to explain that, but first we have to do another example, because now, right, I show an example of some fucking music nerds in Rome who are, you know, the cultural capital of the world. This is nothing for me. It's children singing, and why would I sing? It's fucking cringe. Stop telling me to sing. No, I'm serious. Try this. It's not girly, it's not gay, it's... Do I remember how to type in Russian? Let's try. Oi dati. How do you type oi dati in Russian? Oi da oi da oi dati. And I should find it. This video. And now if you want to find that and you don't know how to type Russian, you just type BA key, which is the channel it's on, and then you do oi.t like that. And then you also find it, okay? Let's listen to what these guys have to say. Shut the fuck up. Okay, this is a bit difficult to read for most people. Okay. And again, like I'm taking too long already, so we're not gonna watch too much of this. But like, if you're still saying like, singing is for little boys and girls, no. Watch this video and look at these guys, and then if you want to call these guys little bitches, then okay, fine. Maybe it's not for you, and we have to try something else. But look at their faces, right? They are digesting. They are digesting, and everybody should do it, because if you don't do it, if you stub your toe and you don't say, "Oh fuck me, that hurts," it's gonna hurt more. Okay, that's the point. And the beauty in this video is, after they start, this is a long video, and it's a long video because everybody... Let's see if I can get an example of this. Beautiful, right? Okay, because the video is so long because everybody in this group gets a moment where they sing by themselves, like you just saw, and then after they sing 1 or 2 lines by themselves, the rest cascade into their support again, right? And that's what makes it beautiful. It's this this tribal, communal sense of support where you feel supported. You feel supported in your issue. And so singing together is better than singing by yourself. But singing by yourself is the start, because you need to build the confidence to be able to be part of something like this. Yeah. So watch this video and go through the whole thing and see who your favorite guy is. I remember that's what I did the first time I watched this, and my favorite guy. Because he looks into your soul, dude, and it changed me as a person when he did that. Okay, watch this. Watch. You fucking... Can you fucking feel that, dude? Holy. Boom! So heavy, dude. Watch this video. Okay, now to continue on that putting yourself out there as an individual and then gaining support from the people around you, right? That reminded me of what I think, what I now think is the answer to the question of, you know, why is this interesting? Why does this make us feel this way? Why do we like this? The people of New Zealand have this ritual of what's called a Haka. And what is a Haka? A Haka is a traditional genre of Maori dance. Maori is the people that live in New Zealand, obviously, you know, historically speaking. I should find a solution for this. This is kind of tedious. A variety of ceremonial performance art in Maori culture. It is often performed by a group with vigorous movements and stamping of the feet, with rhythmically shouted or chanted accompaniment. Haka are performed to welcome distinguished guests or to acknowledge great achievements, occasions, or funerals. Haka have been traditionally performed by both men and women and for a variety of social functions with Maori culture. Now, we're going to look at an example of this, but it's not for no reason that this is the first image on the Wikipedia page, because I think it comes from tribes psyching themselves up for battle, right? And let's look at the example. Fine, sure. And again, it's interesting, this theme that keeps showing up, because first it was me in French class, and then it was the choir boys who were in school, and now again I find myself this example in a boys' school. And we're gonna watch this whole thing because you have to see this. Imagine living in a country where students take pride in the national culture and traditions. It's so weird to see teenagers do something unironically and so refreshing. They're all dead serious, just like I am right now. I'm dead serious. That's why I cried. I want you to know I'm serious about this stuff. Try this. And that makes it so powerful. And I already thought that New Zealand is the coolest country on the planet. Now I respect them even more. Okay, so what are they doing here? Let's watch. I think I'll go here this time. Yeah. And look at him saying thanks. Thank you. That's what he says. And like, especially that part where they stop, right? Going completely berserk and then just... That quiet. Okay, now this one is the largest of all, and I'm already in an hour in. It's so much more to tell. I might have to do more parts then. Okay, so let's talk about this. And again, we're back in the mentor and pupil dynamic, right? Because why are they doing this? High school boys honor retiring teacher with moving Haka. How do I explain how beautiful that is? Okay, let's do the teacher thing first and then the war thing. Okay, so teacher thing first. They're doing this to thank the teacher, right? Because they are experiencing that same emotion that I started to experience only after school, where you appreciate your teachers, right? Because they give you information and you appreciate that. And why does that matter? That matters because, again, it's in the language, right? Okay, so if you go back to this war thing, I have to explain them at the same time. I don't know how to do one in front of the other. This war thing where you're psyching yourself up for battle, and like if you watch this, you know, Wikipedia talks about how it's, you know, great achievements occasion. Everybody knows war is where this came from, right? And that's why it was so beautiful when it's, you know, where one individual puts himself forward, like in a battle, and is then supported by people who from his community that rush to his side and rush to his support. And I think that feeling of being in a part of a community and this is where it ties into war, because a community, right? You're a unit. In war, in battles, there's units moving around and fighting the units of the other side, right? These groups, these squads that work together for a common goal. Common unit. A unit with a common goal. Community. That's what that is, right? It's in the language. You use battle formations. And the teacher is the one who informs you. He gives you information. Don't give me another ad. Fuck. That part where he had the finger on the top of his head and he was shaping him, right? He is forming him. The choir boys thing. I paused on it. You guys remember this? I don't have to show it again. You guys remember this? Where he was shaping this boy and forming him. You form him with information, and when you are informed, you are in formation. These boys are in formation, battle formation, and the reason this is so brimming with respect is because they don't say anything, right? The power of art is you can show things and convey emotions without talking about it. And that's what makes it so good, because you get around this compression issue, right? And so what they're saying is the message conveyed in this Haka is thank you for informing us and putting us information, because we're children and we're schoolboys and we fuck around all the time, but you put us information. And now to show you that your duty and your passion wasn't in vain, we're going to show you that we can keep ourselves informed and keep ourselves information even without you having to do anything. Because you have taught us how to do that, and now as a thank you, we show you that we can do it ourselves. And now we're back in the first video where I was talking about Montaigne and about how you need to go to elementary school and learn how to learn, and then learn for yourself. That is the mentor and pupil's dynamic, right? And I wish we could have done something like this for my French teacher back in school. I wish we would have done it. Because this is so powerful, right? And they're all dead serious, just like that comment said, right? Unironically, they mean this, and it's beautiful. And going back to the shanty story, right? When I sang the shanty, I didn't only get emotional because I see these themes around the death of my father and how it affected me. I also get emotional because I honor my ancestors, right? I sing about them. And that's in the lyrics of the song. I remember the fallen, and they think of me. So I am respecting them, but at the same time I get something back because I draw confidence from them, right? Because I was in my car and I had to go to this job, and it felt like a grind, and I'm like, how do I get through this? Well, because the people before you also grinded through things, right? And now, if you thought that was silly, look at this guy who meets his ancestors, right? And this shows the mechanic. You can meet your ancestors if you do this. Watch this kid. Watch this. Is it this one? Watch this kid and tell me he does not go to meet his ancestors right here, right now. He goes back how many years? A couple 100 years? He goes and says hello to his ancestors. Watch this kid. Right? And you can tap into that. And this is universal, right? This is a Maori culture in New Zealand, but white kids, it doesn't matter. Everybody can tap into this, and everybody's a part of this. And nobody here does this like gatekeeping thing where it's like, oh, cultural appropriation and this and that. No, it's universal. Everybody can do this. Bobby McFerrin said this, right? Every audience gets it. And I'd like you to try, okay? And I am now a third of the way through all the subjects I wanted to discuss, but my hour is over. And I don't know if I should do more than an hour a week, because I don't want to overdo it, right? Yeah, I think I'll end the part here, and I hope people will give me some feedback on how I'm supposed to pace myself, right? Because it's difficult for me to think about it. Maybe an hour a week is way too little, and people actually have capacity for more of this. Because like I said, I do have an end goal in mind. It seems like these are all random examples that I'm just showing for no reason, but I am going somewhere, and I want to get there. And if I'm gonna keep having to split up parts like this, it's gonna take a long time. But yeah, I think I'll put a cut here and post this and see what people think, and then try and continue. And thank you all for watching, and especially the people who commented and engaged with me after the last video. It was amazing and better than expected, and I'm really grateful for that. And the people who were actually giving feedback that I asked for, because in the video about Montagne I asked for like a French person who can explain this and that, and talking about the bar and the pulpit, and people did that for me. People came back to me and they were like, you made a mistake there, maybe it was more like this, and I really appreciate that, and I will get back to it. Again, something a friend has given me in charge, I will not neglect. To neglect anything my friend has given me in charge, I never do. I never do it. Never. So please believe me, I will get back to this, and we will finish this up. I would like Montagne to be a frequent guest on my little show here. So we're gonna get back to that, but I also have a lot of other things that I still want to get through. So I hope I will be able to do that. Okay, I'm stalling now. Boys, gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good day, wherever you are. Whatever page you're on in your narration, I hope you make it a good one, and I will see you next time. Thank you very much for watching.